Some
pretty good,
people,
right?
some people, I would say most people, probably work better in a hierarchy.
All people work in a hierarchy. Got it. So you are expressing what you think is the best way. And I think that that's fine. All right. I'm not beating you up about that.
No, no, that's fine.
I just don't think it's a everybody live and let live and let's all sing kumbaya. I think that the world's far more complex than that. People need rules, they need structure, they need understanding, they need direction. There's all types of things that interact with the human psyche and interact with the way that we perceive the world that are complex. And that's why we have established rules for society. And I think that those
Right.
are probably
Some
pretty good.
people,
Right?
some people, I would say most people, probably work better in a hierarchy.
All people work in a hierarchy.
Okay.
There's no human
Yeah,
being
all right.
alive.
Fair.
No human being
I,
alive with other humans that don't work in a
okay.
hierarchy.
No, that's not true. I don't think. I don't think that's true. I think most people work in a hierarchy. I think there's a minority of people who don't work in a hierarchy.
There's
All right.
nobody who doesn't work in a hierarchy
Sure,
who's wrong
sure,
with
sure.
people.
Yeah, yeah. There are people. Yeah, for
No,
sure, there are people. Maybe sometimes they'll be diagnosed with like opposition disorder or something like that. But I mean, there are
no.
just people who just can't do it. Like
If you're
they'll do,
working
maybe
with
even they'll do it temporarily, but it's just not in their character.
if you're working with another human being, you're in a hierarchy, no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it.
In what way? In what way? If you're working with another human being,
Because
you're in
when
a
two
hierarchy.
consciousnesses come into contact, one has to necessarily dominate the other. Whether
Really?
it's whether it's intrinsically necessary or not, it's just the way that it works.
Dominate in what way?
It's usually fairly subtle. It doesn't have to be academic in the way that you would think, like two people have to fight to the death or something like this. It's just a subtle way that it's called spontaneous order. So people will spontaneously order themselves around other people, and that's necessary to do. For instance, if you were weak and somebody else was strong, they would probably do most of the heavy lifting, right? We've already established now that there's some type of hierarchy here, no matter what. So this is just always the case. We're pack animals. We exist within a hierarchy.
Mm.
All relationships are a hierarchy as well. There's always somebody who's dominant in a relationship, regardless of how equal you want to make it or unequal you want to make it or egalitarian you want to make it. Always somebody's in charge.
It's not always the same person. You know what? I can see this happening. Okay, I can see this happening. I'll let you take the lead on this one, right? Depending on the situation. My wife and I can work this way, right? There are certain situations where I'm going to trust her judgment, right? And and as her partner, okay, I'm going to support her as much as I can in whatever her endeavor is because I trust her and she's done good jobs before, right? And there are other times where it's the same. I guess reversed. Would you say that's a hierarchy? But I feel like that's more of a partnership.
No, it's not a partnership. One of you is still dominant. Like no matter what,
No, but that changes based on the environment.
No, it doesn't. One of you is still dominant.
I bet
like, think about what you're saying to me. You're like, look, man, there are times when I trust her judgment. Yeah. Can she impose her judgment on me?
No.
Could you impose your judgment on her?
No.
You couldn't?
No, I share my...
Could, not would, but could. Could you impose your judgment?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So like, there you go. There's the hierarchy.
Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, I could go full psycho. I could go full psycho, okay, and leverage our relationship, okay, and be like, look, you're gonna.
Yeah, but she couldn't. So that's the difference, right? It's like she couldn't. Like your wife's not going to be able to physically make you do what she wants, right? But you'll always have that option available to you. So, I mean, no matter what, you're always within a hierarchical structure, and you're always going to be at the top of it. So
she could possibly dominate me with, how is it? If she went far enough, because she has leverage on me in terms of she owns basically exactly half of everything. It would be a massive problem for either one of us.
So she would have to appeal to a separate hierarchy in order to break the hierarchy that she has right now.
A separate hierarchy? How she'd have to,
Like if
for
she
some reason, want to leave this,
oh
and
yeah,
then
she has
say,
half your shit. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then say, right, okay, I see. You're talking about the government
of
and
course.
our
Yeah,
and the law in terms
yeah,
of hierarchy.
yeah,
Right. I mean, those are the legal agreements that we've made to each other.
yeah. Everything's a hierarchy.
Okay. All right. You
All
know what?
all
If
interaction
if you're just gonna
hierarchical.
if you're gonna okay, hold on. You don't think there's? I want to get to other stuff, but I want to
Okay.
finish this. I want to finish this one. Uh, you don't think that hold on. How would you okay? How would you even measure who is the dominant? Like, what is the criteria?
I think it's pretty obvious actually. Uh,
Who has the choice in the matter, and who?
so generally, I think one of the ways that you would make an instant default is who's stronger, right? That usually is a pretty instantaneous default that we can all look at, right? Like just plain who's stronger. This is in male
Stronger
hierarchy.
physically.
Yeah, who's
Okay.
stronger physically. I think that that's an obvious trait for hierarchy, right? But there's also leadership skills. That might be something that might be dominant within a hierarchy. I do agree to an extent that there could be situational circumstances where hierarchies can shift, but I think that you still end up with something that you would consider to be the leader or the alpha or whatever the fuck you want to call it, who would be at the top of the hierarchy, even if in certain situations they had to yield to you to take care of a certain circumstance. I still think that there's always going to be somebody who's dominant in any relationship between two people. Always, that seems to be the way that the world works and how we manifest existence.
I think it shifts. I think it shifts based on the environment. Yeah. Again, this is not just my wife and I, but other people, right? Who
Sure,
have skills. If they're very skilled,
that's true. I
no,
just
but
don't think it matters.
if they're very okay, I see. Even for those individual things, we always organize in a hierarchy.
Yeah,
But I mean, overall, if that's shifting, okay, overall, you can still be egalitarian. I guess on a more
right.
macro scale,
You
you
can't
can
be
be
egalitarian.
egalitarian. Yeah, because
No two
if
people
the
are ever going
hierarchies
to
are
be.
shifting all the time,
Yeah,
okay,
but that,
then
that
over
wouldn't be
time they're
egalitarianism.
flattened. Hmm?
That wouldn't be egalitarianism, even if the hierarchies are shifting. Look, egalitarian,
Not egalitarianism.
yeah,
Not
egalitarian,
egalitarian. No,
and
there's no such thing as equality.
right.
Okay, people are different. We have different skills. We adapt differently. The environment changes how much we're worth, or whatever. There's no equality. Okay, at one given time. How about that? Okay, but if you think more four dimensionally, you could achieve equality, I guess, over a longer span of time.
You can't achieve equality.
You can achieve a more flattened hierarchy.
Okay, so you can achieve more equality,
Yes. Okay. You
but
can
not,
achieve, yeah, that's right.
but not.
There's no such thing as total hierarchy either.
No, I think that there is such thing as total hierarchy. Yeah.
No, because you're whoever you're dominating or whatever could decide for whatever they have a a sudden brain problem or something like that. They could just quit on you. All right, and
Okay.
then
Well,
whatever
they,
you worked for
you
is
would
gone.
you would still be at the top of the pack, though, right?
You be the top of yourself.
Like just like if you went to sleep one night and like your wife stabbed you to death while you were sleeping, she would
Mhm.
be at the top of the hierarchy then, right?
Okay. Okay. So hard. It seems like hierarchy just means the upper hand for you.
Well, no, I think it's more complex than that. I'm just saying that all systems and structures that I've ever witnessed with my two eyeballs
Hmm.
exist within a hierarchical structure, and I can't see a way around it. And
Okay.
it's
You know
not like
what?
I haven't tried.
I will concede to your point. I will concede to your point. Okay.
Okay.
I'll concede to your point. Even in groups, it's true.
Yeah.
Even if it's in groups, it's true.